And never give up. All right.
Mhm.
Hello and welcome to episode 4 of Your Mom's Podcast, the only podcast that's worth walking out on a date with one of Degrassi's coolest girls. I'm Caroline,
And I'm Avis.
and today we'll be talking about Degrassi Season 1, Episodes 9 and 10, Coming of Age and Rumors and Reputations. Coming of Age. Roses are red, much like menstruation. It happens to, 50% of the population. So, in this episode, we learned that Jimmy's parents do not care about him at all, and he is basically a latchkey kid. He's sad and lonely all the time and doesn't feel like he has a family, so he starts spending all of his time at Ashley's house, which drives Ashley insane. She starts to feel suffocated, but rather than tell him this, she just starts, being kind of shitty towards him and whatever. And then Toby tells Jimmy that Ashley wants to break up, and it's a whole thing. Over in grade 7, Emma is having a lot of feelings. None of them are good. She is snippy. She is irritable. She is weepy. Of course, she's about to have her first period while wearing a white skirt, no less. But she winds up being surprisingly cool about the whole thing. Entirely cool, actually. This is one of my favorite episodes, honestly.
Like of this season or of all time?
Of this season, definitely, but honestly, I think of all time.
Okay. Wow. Bold statement coming from Caroline off the top.
It's, I think, yeah, it's low stakes, but that's a lot of season 1. But it's,
Mm-hmm.
first off, we get to see Emma at her absolute best. Season 1 Paige really shines in this episode, which is not something that Paige
It was about
does much in
time.
season 1.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's about time.
I think Sean is really adorable in this episode. I love that he's into astrology, and I
Mm-hmm.
love, like, you can see the moment that Sean, like, he's been crushing on Emma, but
Mm-hmm.
when she slaps back at JT, like, you can see that boy falling in love
Oh
with
yeah.
her.
There's a
Like,
click. There's a
Daniel Clark did an amazing job. And I don't know, I really love this episode. And I think we've talked about it some. Like, I don't think that Sean and Emma were ever meant to be endgame, but
yes, we did talk about
I
that.
think that they are a really great first relationship.
Totally. I think that's what they're honestly meant to be. Like that's their that's what people should remember them for, is being a really great first love. Like,
Mhm.
she got to grow up and, blossom with somebody who really cared about her and who loved her for who she was, and that's why he fell in love with her. In fact, like,
Right.
it's very much a heart eyes situation, and it's cute that she, also, it's commented that she's also making hard eyes at him too much, and, like, that it's too obvious, but, like, he it clicks for him in this episode, just like, wow, like, that's, like, she, what a woman, kind of thing. Like, I think,
Right.
like, a force to be holden. He's very much taken with her, and I think it's a great scene for her because it's kind of her character in a nutshell. It's like, she's gonna call you out on some shit. Like, if she has to be traumatized, so do you. Like, you decided to poke fun at her, you're gonna get it, JT. You're gonna get, like, the whole
Can I actually pop in with a personal story? Not quite as cool as Emma, but when I was like 24, I was waiting tables at this really, like, bougie steakhouse that did not really, like, put out the quality to support the bougie, but what are you going to do? Anyway, I'm working one day and I'm having my period, and it's the second day in a row, and it's the second day in a row that I've gone and gotten ibuprofen from the office.
Mhm.
And I'm walking back through the kitchen, and the owner, in front of the entire kitchen staff, is like, Caroline, are you like a raging alcoholic or something? And I'm kind of taken aback, and I'm like, what?
Right.
And he goes, I just don't see any reason that somebody your age should be taking ibuprofen this frequently. And I was not
Hmm.
having it. I hated this job anyway. I did not last there very long. And I looked at him and I said, actually, I'm bleeding profusely from my vagina right now and it's kind of painful. But I'll remember to bring my own ibuprofen going forward.
Which brings me to Emma, which is something maybe I don't want to nitpick at a 12-year-old for, but she's talking about, oh, I feel no different. Well, that must be great to have no cramps that are trying to come for your life. No, like, horrible, TMI for those of you who don't bleed. Period poops. They suck. Literally wanting to eat everything or eat nothing, depends on the month. Literally having hot flashes. For me, I have hot flashes. Like, I either need, like, a fan. I need a fan blowing on me, but a blanket also, and then I need to be naked. TMI. But this is all stuff that stems from a period.
I mean,
So
TMI, but I started mine yesterday and I'm trying to quit smoking today. So I went and spent like $25 on a sandwich today because I was like, I deserve this. And it was delicious. It was like lobster salad on like a like savory Old Bay donut.
oh wow,
Amazing.
a
Amazing.
savory donut. That's definitely sounds like a decadent sandwich.
It was everything I needed it
Probably
to be.
worth 20 ish, maybe like like $18 to $20. I don't know, 25,
It was a
20.
lot of lobster.
Okay. Well, you do live like lobster
Yeah,
in a
but
lobster plentiful area, so I mean it's probably good quality lobster too. Like
mhm.
I wouldn't pay that.
No. No, New Jersey's not known for its lobster.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, Charles.
So I have a quick question that just kind of came up when Avis was talking about like, oh, you don't get period cramps, Emma. Good for you. Do you guys remember your first periods? Is there like a difference?
Yes, I
This is
remember
just a
my
man
first period.
question.
I remember my first one.
I mean, it's gotten worse. I feel like once you're actually, because I have a weird theory that, like, you are physically able to have children, but I think that there's like a height of when your body truly wants you to be pregnant, and then it starts trying to attack you with all these various symptoms. And that started for me maybe around 15, 16. But like my first couple years, I got it when I was about 12, around Emma's age, maybe like 11 turning 12. And I was able to like hide it from my mom like for at least 2 periods, which means I wasn't in pain. Like I was spotting. Like that's kind of how it happens very, like, initially for a lot of girls. It's just like it's spotting. It is a period, but it's not a full period. Your
Mhm.
period has to kind of mature a little bit. Um, and then it like regular, like some, for me, it got regular. And then it started wreaking havoc on my life around 15.
Lucky you. I remember having to like go lie down in the nurse's office in like 6th grade
Oh, geez, Caroline. No,
where
yeah, I was.
I would get cramps like that would go all the way down my legs.
Oh my,
Like,
that's,
yeah.
yeah, that's serious. That's, you're on the pain scale. Like you're above where
Yep.
you should be for. And I mean, and I say that not to say that period cramps aren't some of the worst pain that can be experienced. Next to, like, I know kidney stones are pretty painful. Like like toothaches, I've heard, are very painful. Like, but like I think it's a extreme pain that people are just forced to work through, and
Yeah.
I hate that. I've hated that stigma of like, oh, you have to just keep buck up. It happens every month. Yeah, I have to fight for my life every month. I'm glad that you. I'm glad that we're talking about
Oh
it.
yeah, no, it's like you hurt, you feel like you have to poop, and sometimes you do and sometimes you don't.
Both
And
suck.
you're like you're really weepy and you're really irritable and like I
Hmm.
it's like I get amnesia every month and it's not until like the day I start my period that I'm like, "Oh, that's why I've been such a bitch lately."
Actually, I do like that they highlight with Emma, that she's raging about a test, and that she's just a little bit more like elevated in her personality than normal. It's
Mhm.
nothing like, because this would be normal Emma behavior if she was working on something, or she's just that sort of type of A, like I've got to check all my personal boxes, but it's just elevated. And I do like how they tried to like do PTSD, not PTSD, PMS. So I really think it's a cute way to like for kids to understand. Oh, okay, maybe if you're having some of this buildup, this is, and then it leads to your period. This is probably, you know, related. Like
Well, and I have to
don't
say
beat
like
yourself up.
I think Spike really shines in this episode, but it's kind of interesting to me that she doesn't
Feminist
pick up
icon
on what's
Spike.
going on. Like,
Oh yeah, like that's actually what I needed from this episode was not the scene where Spike confronts Emma watching the soap opera and takes her shopping. I mean, you can do that too, but what I really needed was like, Emma, you're getting your period. This is the beginning of you. Like how Manny just casually says, "Oh, you can get pregnant now." But let's talk about that and maybe have
right.
a very candid conversation about how this is relevant to the reproductive system, or just have like a cozy little talk. I don't know, I'm
Or
not the
buy
boss
her
of
a
them.
book. My
Or
mom bought
like
me a book.
I mean, I feel like the mom that Spike can be sometimes should have bought her a book years ago. However, if that's not the case, yes, buy her a book. You know, have a couple talks with her. She doesn't know what wings are on a pad. She's emotionally overwhelmed. Like
Right,
she's
right,
not, if she doesn't know, if she's like, "Man, I'm not ready for wings on a pad." Then she's just completely inner depth about this experience and she needs her mom to like throw her a life raft. But
right.
what she gets instead is Paige Michael Chuck, you know? So
Who shines? Who
I love
absolutely
Paige, who
shines?
reassures her that yes, this is a biological change, but no, you will not morph into me, someone who is trying to be a woman overnight. It's cute. I like their exchange. It's very wholesome.
I do want to say, still talking about the Emma portion of this episode,
Mm-hmm.
what the fuck is Miss Kwan's deal? Because, like, I'm sorry, if one of your best students rolls into class late in gym shorts that are too big for her,
Mm-hmm.
it's middle school. The odds that she's just gotten her first period are
Are
really
very
fucking
high.
high. And like the
Yeah.
next best thing is that she somehow peed her pants. Like, why are you making faces about this? And like be come on, Miss Kwan, women supporting women, damn it.
Yeah, she's kind of like I mean, Emma has to corral her into her side at the end, like, right, Miss Kwan? That's right, Emma. You know, like, I think it's just kind of like, but we all know that, like, I have this headcanon that fucking Miss Kwan just hates everybody. She just hates, and like, like all of, like, more than the, like, teacher meme that, like, most teachers hate students, which I don't think is true. I think most teachers actually love their students, but I
I
think
think middle
secretly,
schoolers are the worst kids to teach.
oh, they scare me. 12-year-olds scare me though, but it's just because lots happening at once. I
Not
mean, but
anymore. It used to be. It wasn't until I was like 30 that I stopped being scared when I walked past like a gaggle of middle school girls.
I think my issue is that these girls think that I am their age. You know, I'm turning 29 tomorrow. I frequently get mistooketh for a teenager.
It's because you're
And
so little. No, middle schoolers are just, I don't even blame them. Like, your hormones are going batshit insane.
yeah,
Batshit insane.
what's
And
true this
like,
week is not true next week, most likely,
as you're
body
getting,
wise.
as you're getting a little older, like social politics start really coming into play. Like, it's a lot to navigate.
That whole classroom scene is just iconic, and I really am mad the entire time because I'm just like, drawstring, drawstring. For the love of all that is
I
holy,
mean,
please use a drawstring.
yeah, but if the
They're
shorts are
still
big enough.
they're still not going to, but the way that she's like,
Mhm.
it's like it's like improv when you're given like something and you're told to make it to just be over the top with it, like
Yeah.
oh, okay, this is a pair of basketball shorts and you've got to keep them up, you know, and you're told to, or even for the theater, you're told to make it bigger and just flamboyant. That's what it looks like she's doing. Like, but no, you're in front of a camera and it does not look, it looks like there's solutions that you could have come up with those shorts. And I don't think that's because of this is an Emma Slander podcast. I think it's because better
It is.
choices
It's
could have been
very.
made. But you know, maybe I'm just gonna find one little thing that Emma does in every other episode that.
She's supposed to be smart, okay?
Thank you. She deductive reasoning left the chat. As far as like, I mean, personally, I think that Manny was a real one for her resourcefulness, because where did she find those shorts? Where did she have to sneak into the dude's locker room and take the shorts out of someone's?
We'll never know what she did because she's
And
never
she
going to
did
make a
it
big deal of
fast.
it because Manny is a
It's a
ride or
real,
die.
and
No
we all
questions
know
asked.
this.
Manny's got you.
She's got results too, because that was crunch time. Like, she did not have a lot of time to do that.
Mm-mm.
Like, so yeah.
So we should also talk about the Jimmy and Ashley half of this episode, I guess, which is way less
Uh
entertaining to me.
it's very, I mean, spoiler in terms of their future, but I think this pattern feels familiar. It's just it
They're
feels,
not a good couple. They haven't been a good couple for a while.
no, and I truly believe that, here's my little theory that I came up with, because I just love having them towards characters like this. I feel like Ashley let it slip, and I'm using air quotes for those who cannot see, maybe you, which is all of you. Let it slip in front of Toby to Terry that, oh, I'm just about ready to break up with him, knowing, because she just said it, that he's inviting Jimmy over for dinner every night. They're shooting hoops. They're talking every day. Do you think that Toby's going to not be able to say anything? Was it your plan, Ashley, to let it slip so that Toby would let you off of the hook of having to do it, which is maybe something you've been wanting to do? I mean, Toby's a good kid. He's not going to keep that kind of secret to himself. I kind of think that Ashley wanted to be let off the hook, or at least, by telling Toby, "Oh, I want to break up with him." Basically, Toby's going to
Yeah.
do the work for me.
As a side note, before I forget about it, this
Yeah.
isn't important to the plot at all whatsoever. But
Hmm.
why is there a fucking canoe of pomegranates on Jimmy's dining room table?
Caroline paying attention to the
It,
background details.
it popped out to me. It's ridiculous. I'm going to go back through and take a picture of it to share on the Instagram because it's just
Yes, please.
ridiculous.
This is the kind of content that I live for personally.
It made me mad. It made me mad. It's like when people just have like a jar of lemons.
Hmm.
Anyway, can we talk about the conversation that takes place in the kitchen and how Jimmy somehow doesn't pick up on this? Like Toby's like, "Kate, can Jimmy stay for dinner? We have enough food, right?" And Kate's like,
Yeah.
"Well, and Ashley's like,
Ooh,
"It's fine.
laser
Just
beams
forget
at
it."
Ashley.
And then like Toby and Jimmy just like do 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 on out of the kitchen.
For personally, I think that Jimmy's not stupid, but Jimmy's not, like, he's not gonna lead you to do something that's your problem.
He just strikes me as oblivious, which is also tracks. Like he's a 13-year-old boy
He's
and he's
not
not
thinking.
at all picking up on the fact that his girlfriend doesn't want him around. Because
No,
even
but
when
it's
like
kind of,
Toby's like hinting at it, trying to, why are you trying to use a sports metaphor, Toby? But he tries it. God
it's
love him, he
so
tries
not work.
it.
It so doesn't work, but it's so cute that he's like, this is an attempt to say it in a term in a way you'll understand,
Yeah.
basically. But like, I just think that there's a lot. I mean, the oblivious thing would track, because there's a lot of things that he's just not tuning into that would save him a lot of like, oh, wait, what? Do you mean we're together too much and she feels smothered? That's why this is such a good example of an immature relationship. Like,
Right.
they can't talk to each other. They're getting filtered information. Literally,
Well, and
Toby is who's communicating about this. Why is
yeah.
Toby involved in your relationship? She just doesn't know. She's like, "Oh, are you sure you're not doing this because you feel sorry for me?" No, Jimmy, she's not sure. She's not sure of anything.
Uh it's so sad. That hug is so like
It's so pitiful. It's so pitiful.
I had okay, so like it wasn't like I was gonna break up with him on his birthday, but I didn't want to do it on his birthday, and my stepbrother told him that I was, I didn't have all of that, but I definitely had like a boyfriend that
On
I
your
like
on
that
your
I stayed with way longer than I should have, and like I remember giving those hugs of like everything's gonna be okay, I'm happy. I feel for Ashley a bit in this episode.
I mean, both sides are hard. However, I think that just because of the way the story is told, that we're only, even though we get some of who she is because she is a very vocal person. She's just not to the right person. Because honestly, it's a simple fix. Like, I feel like we spend too much time together. I still have that in my relationship. Girl, it doesn't go away. Okay. You, when you get older, especially like when you go through a pandemic together and literally you develop those habits of being together all the time. And then society opened back up and you had to learn how to like be with other people again. That was the whole thing. But it's just like it never goes away of having to talk to your partner. And I think
Right.
that that is the big thing that's missing from all of these relationships at this time. It's actually a
Yeah.
lot of fun when they start learning that. Like, a lot of my issues might be solved if I just communicate. Really? Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's life logic.
I I'm very much like you and I have talked a little bit about I'm a cult survivor,
Hmm.
and I spent my early 20s just kind of like trying to figure out how to interact with normal people because I hadn't done that in a very long time, not with any regularity. And I kind of realized like I've got weird shit about me, and I'm just gonna save everybody time. And I'm very much one of those people at this point who I'm like, I'm gonna put my shit out on the table. If something is like I had a meeting at work recently. I work
Hmm.
one day a week at a pizza place, and change of season, we've got some new staff. We had an all staff meeting. That's a very reasonable thing to have happen.
Yeah.
And I work one day a week. It would be ridiculous to have everybody come in and pay them to have a meeting about me. But that
Hmm.
was totally a thing that my cult would do, was like have these all school meetings where like one to like five people would just get dragged for a whole day.
Yeah.
And I actually had to reach out to my boss and be like, I know this is unhinged, but can you just tell me this meeting is not just about how I suck? And he was like, yeah. And like, I don't know, that's weird, but also I'd rather not have anxiety for 3 weeks because I know we're having a meeting.
Yeah. I mean,
And
anxiety sucks.
I'm sorry, I think I got a little bit off topic there, but that like no, I'm very upfront about like if you're doing something and I feel some type of way about it, like I'm hardwired to interpret shit weirdly because of shit that I've lived through. So
Hmm.
let me just stop and clarify right now what's happening.
Right.
It speaks really well to the theme of the conversation as well, that just like being able to communicate what your concerns are and ask for that reassurance is a really normal and healthy thing to do.
Mhm.
So first of all, don't be sorry about getting into that,
Hmm.
but also it just, it's a lesson. And as well, I just want to say, like, there may very well be people listening to this that don't fully know that.
Right. Absolutely. It's extremely
I
great
still have
point.
days that I forget it.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like it's a constant lesson because every
Mhm.
situation is different. Your emotions are different in and I mean, the things that Ashley feels aren't invalid. Like, I want to stress that too. Like, it is healthy and normal to need just time with
Space.
your friends, just time like at home, away
Right.
from your partner. If you don't live with your partner yet, you know, the time when you guys don't live together is vastly different from the time you live together. Once you, if you make that transition of being a couple that lived apart and then coming together in one household, you'll understand that it's night and day. You get space from each other. You know what, you get to go home and have that break, even if it's
Mhm.
just, oh, they sleep over a lot, but you, they don't live there full time. So, you know, it's in that stage of a relationship, it's very important to have those boundaries for some people. But and that needs to be talked about because every relationship is different. Like, some couples literally are attached at the hip and that works for them. They're each other's, like, you know, comfort zone, security, like, you know, that sort of dynamic, and that's fine. They've agreed on that. They think that that's healthy for them. Ashley does not want that sort of dynamic, whereas Jimmy is very much, but that's his attachment style too, which is
Mhm.
obviously reflected in just how he does not have any reassurance of when his parents will show up for him. And Ashley's very consistent, so he attaches to her. He would attach to a person who wasn't consistent too, but he just happened to develop a relationship with someone who has a loving family and had that reassurance that her needs would be met and she would, and her caregivers would come back for her. Like,
Mhm.
it's a very basic reason why he acts the way he does. Like, and he feels that way about himself. He feels like he's a suction cup. That is like basic projection. Like, you know,
Yeah.
don't throw that out at her. Like, no, that feel about yours because your parents are not consistent, you know, providers for you, either, you know, emotionally, or, you know, just having to order yourself your own fucking pizza. Like, you know, you eat by yourself all the
The
time unless you're
usual
at the
medium
usual.
pepperoni.
Yeah, Jimmy.
Why do you
Why
have
do
to
you
then
have
tell
to
him what the
tell them what
usual is?
the usual
Shots fired at the writers for that one.
I love that you brought that up because I agree. Oh, Degrassi is so
No,
dramatic.
it's an interesting episode because it's like I can't fault either one of them for how they're feeling.
Right.
And really I can't fault either one of them for how they're dealing with it because they're literal children.
Exactly.
Like it's frustrating to
Hmm.
watch, but also like no, I feel for Ashley and I feel for Jimmy. Like it's a lot for both of them and
Yeah,
neither one of them knows how to deal with it yet because it's their first relationship and
exactly.
they're children and
Literally.
Jimmy doesn't even know what a relationship looks like because he's literally never seen his parents.
I can segue into the fashion corner because I have a shit ton of that. But
Yeah.
did you want to bring up anything else in the deep dive that you felt like we?
Oh, you know what? Bringing it back to the Emma, I did have one more thing in my notes,
Okay.
which was when Emma and Manny go into the bathroom, and Manny's like, "Don't you asking like, don't you have a jacket you can tie around her waist?" And Emma's like, "I don't have a jacket. It's like summer outside,
Hmm.
girl. You are wearing a turtleneck.
She sure is.
Everybody has like hoodies on. What do you mean it's like summer outside?" I guess I don't
Canada.
get
I
Canada
don't get
climate.
Canada nor climate nor, I mean, you know, some of the fashion very questionable, but yeah, good point, Caroline. So there's, I mean, personally I found a couple iconic outfits in this episode. I
Before we get to the good, can I throw a little bit of shade at Terry?
Yeah, for how
Terry appears to also be having her period. She's just like she's wearing
she
sweats.
is.
She's her hair is like greasy and messy. And even just her posture is off. I feel like Christina probably was like not she's having a PMS day
Yeah, that's fair.
and
Definitely,
it's all
it's
good.
not.
It's all
I feel
good,
like
but
her, you know, her outfit next. Oh, I did have one mention of a good Terry outfit. I liked her red shirt with the arrow. I think it's when she's talking. Oh, when she's actually saying, "Oh, I'm about ready to break up with him," in the kitchen. But I
mhm.
think that during school she might have had like a sweatshirt over it or something. So she took it off when she got to Ashley's house, and that is why the outfit looks less, oh, I'm on my period vibes.
Yeah. And to be clear, Terry is still adorable. She looks like she's struggling a bit.
Yeah. And I mean, who wants to be on camera when you're having your period? So that is the case. Shout out to her.
I mean, in that case, shout out to me, right? Because we're on camera, even if nobody but us can see it.
That's true.
And I too have like greasy, messy hair, and I'm in sweatpants.
Mm-mm. I'm supposed to get a birthday visitor for tomorrow. So, yay me.
Ooh, love a birthday
Yeah,
period.
it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one.
But on to better fashion. What do we
Yeah,
got?
so I actually was living for Paige's fuzzy blue coat and shades. That outfit
Hmm.
is beautiful. Like the shade of it, I think she's rocking it too because she wears it twice.
Oh,
She wears it
definitely.
twice.
She wears it really well. I've called it a Muppet coat
It
in
is
my
totally
notes.
a blue Muppet coat. I think it's great on her. She rocks it, and she's got that confidence that only Paige can exude. But then, of course, feminist icon, second feminist icon, because Paige is also in this episode, feminist icon. But Spike, I love her hair, like the intricate
All the
little
butterfly
butterfly
clips.
clip thing she's got going on, and her stone necklace, the light
Mm,
stone necklace, very very cute, very trendy, and is just the
yeah.
perfect way to be accessorized when you kick some pervert ass in the mall. And I actually think that Emma's tie-dye horse shirt is low-key adorable. I just think it tracks that she loves animals and she's wearing fucking a tie-dye shirt with a horse on it.
No, it definitely works. I also her outfit before she ruins it with menstruation
Yeah, it's yes,
is so
it's
cute.
love.
The
I love
blue
that.
and tan striped turtleneck and that white skirt,
Yes,
it's very
and she
cute.
wasn't lying when she said it goes with a lot. You know,
Mhm.
the white skirt is iconic because it is such a choice. You know, you're obviously wearing white after Labor Day. Okay, love it. Like my mom always made that rule. I don't know. My mom's like a fashion aficionado,
Yeah.
so she always told me we do not wear white after Labor Day. We don't do it. But I love a winter white, so you know, kind of have to. It's like a hard disagree sometimes. But yeah, I love the whole mini skirt. Paige's bathroom scene where she's being like mama feminist.
Mhm.
It's giving Hell Hath No Fury vibes. Just the all black, the boots and the skirt, the peasant. It's not quite peasant because it's there's no flare. It's more just like a pencil type skirt with like an overlay. That's like it's
Mhm.
very chic, you know. And I think it works with because her hair is all sleek. She does not crimp her hair in this scene. She loves the crimp iron though, but I like her hair. It's all full, and she just looks very sweet and everything when she's telling Emma, you know, you're not gonna morph into me.
Right. Yeah. Man, I love Paige so much in this episode, and then she has to just fuck it up.
Well, yeah, she's got to have dimension. I guess more
We
than
gotta
that.
we gotta talk about JT too.
Hmm.
You know, because Emma like says something about like JT's of doesn't know about fashion, and he has proven her quite right
Oh, he
today
looks a mess.
in like a hunter orange fishing
Oh
vest
yes.
with a two-tone long sleeve graphic tee, and he's got that black backwards ball cap, and I think he's wearing a chain, and it's just like
Uh,
there's so much going on, and yet it's also like an aggressively bland outfit.
very atrocious combination, and he wears it proudly. So he has no idea that he looks like he got dressed in the dark this morning. But I think that
No.
that's fine for his vibe. I was gonna write it down as like, you know, this looks like an outfit I might have worn in fifth grade. Not the color palette, but like the core, like the core, you know, the puffy vest. I think
Yeah.
that it was a staple. The puffy vest had a chokehold on me. Personally, it's like wearing a jacket, but not.
So I actually remember when Caroline, you and I were watching this episode and the next one, and I know this isn't fashion, but I remember we called out JT's outfit specifically, and then the blocking is actually really interesting because he like compliments Emma on her outfit, and then fully walks around her to check her out. I just like I remember I broke it down when we
Hmm.
watched it, but I love that blocking,
Yeah.
especially because it really puts a lot of contrast against Emma's really nice outfit with JT's
Hmm.
nightmare.
And I think it's weird that he says "sexy shirt."
Oh my
Yeah.
Like
god.
it's just so it sounds weird. It's like Ryan, the actor who plays JT, sounds like a lot of his lines he delivers beautifully, and he sounds like he is JT. That line just did not sound good. It's like "sexy shirt."
All right. I have a Heather Sinclair
Awesome.
hypothesis. So in one of the like transition scenes outside of Degrassi, there is a girl scooting away on a scooter. She's like a dirty blonde, her hair's in a ponytail. She's wearing black jeans, a black sweater, she's got a black backpack, and then this badass like silver pterodactyl keychain.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's Heather Sinclair.
All right.
And we also had a Hun count
Mm-hmm.
in the bathroom. Paige says to Emma, "Hun, you don't wear light colors when you're getting your period."
Mm-hmm. Which is sage advice, and we should all just
Sage.
listen to Paige when she's being a sage. But like, I actually still think about that. Like, I'm like, oh, I'm getting my period. I'm just gonna wear like black. Not not in mourning, but like black is chic. I really like wearing black.
Yeah.
It makes me feel like less like I'm like retaining water. Which, fun fact, is another period symptom. Yay!
Are we ready to jump into rumors and reputations?
Yes, absolutely. So, in rumors and reputations, roses are red. Boycott the calf. Armstrong's not a creep. Liberty's bad at math. So, in this episode, Emma sees Coach Armstrong put his arm around Liberty, and her mind goes to dark places, aka almost to Yellowknife, as we can recall. Like, this girl is scarred, she's had some things happen to her, so it's understandable. However, Terry overhears her sharing her very valid concerns based on what she saw with Manny, and the whole thing snowballs quickly into a very vicious rumor. Uh, and then, completely switching gears, Spinner finds an earwig in his lunch and he does not handle it well, aka just the whole situation was very mishandled. um, and he deals with the consequences, and they include a hairnet. So
Yeah. It's almost as though Spinner has poor impulse
oh
control.
man, and wouldn't that have been like diagnosable or something? Like, wouldn't that have been something that
If only there were like a little pill he could take.
oh, that like that B plot is hilarious because I just think that it is really a bad like turn of like a really mishandled on his part because he could have definitely been the one. Oh, I found the earwig. Like, it's me. Like, if he had not just like thrown it and started a food fight. So yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, no, the B plot.
it's funny, but it's not as strong as I think the last episode.
No. And like,
It's just
but then
Austin.
he continues to not handle it well because like if he had just put an earwig in Ashley's
Instead
food,
of gathering a colony, yeah.
and also probably not Ashley.
Not Ashley. Why did Ashley want pepper? Why? Why does she want pepper for her sandwich? Sometimes I put pepper on a sandwich, but I don't know.
I like pepper on a
I know, but
sandwich.
I feel like every time that she says that, and then I see the sandwich, I'm like, I feel like they could have given her something else, so the people don't have a reason to make fun of her. I'm people. I'm gonna make fun of.
I love how hard like you will like cuz this is an Emma Nelson and an Ashley Kerwin slander podcast and like same, but you're like, Emma, why are you still holding this pizza? Ashley, why are you pouring your milk in a glass? Why do you need pepper for this sandwich? Like the hate runs so
Avis is
deep in
asking real
you,
questions that you might
and I
not
love
ask.
it. The whole Spinner plot is, and he ends up, so he puts a million fucking earwigs in Ashley's sandwich and
And
then
then
has a million
stares at
more.
her.
Yeah, and like it's so obvious. He immediately gets caught. He gets in a fuck ton of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to work in the calf for 2
Mm-hmm.
months during lunch and after
God, I love
school
Sheila.
to help pay for the fumigation. Sheila's a fucking real one.
I think that she's just got like she's like the typical lunch lady like template. I think if you like you could find a Sheila in like most every school in America.
But no, Sheila's great. Spinner's an idiot. The calf is going to get fumigated, which it needed anyway, but now Spinner has to work it off instead of the school board just like paying for it.
Yeah, which is
And then there's the way bigger plot of
like the substantially more important and honestly this I have such feelings about it because,
people want to shit on Emma for this
I
episode, and I get it.
I
Emma Nelson slander
I get it, but
podcast.
this is not
But
this is not going
no.
to be one of the episodes that I personally shit on her because I don't think that she deserves it. I think that she
Should she have maybe not had the
in
conversation with
in
Manny
in
in the
the
middle of the
hallway,
hallway?
wrong
Absolutely.
location,
Is it
man. Wrong
also
location.
is it also reasonable that a traumatized 7th
Would
grader
jump to those
isn't going to come to
conclusions.
that, like isn't going to think of
Yeah.
that? Like
I mean, she's not, she's reacting. She's reacting to seeing
mhm.
something that she can't believe she's seeing in her. Like, honestly, I think it's pretty understandable. The entire, like, I have no fault for Emma. I wouldn't say I exactly, like, am going to hail her for her, her actions because that's not really what it's about. For me, it's just like,
Yeah, she's not like a shining
she is
star,
not a
but
shining star. However, I do think her actions from A to B, I get it. I don't think that she's wrong. And I think that even when she has the conversation with Liberty, and that's good, that's amazing that they put that on a child's children's television program to say like, oh, Liberty saying, oh, I can't believe you think I could do that. And she says, what do you mean, be violated? It's extremely important for kids to know, okay, like when you are violated, that's not something that you choose to do or that you can
right.
control. it's not something that you let happen to you. Like, you are deprived of your power, and it is, not your fault. So I think it's extremely also good to hear Emma having that narrative about herself.
And I just want to say, and I think like it's a given, but also I just want to put it out there, like, even if you are going along with it, even if you are enjoying it,
You're
like,
allowed to,
you're a
yeah,
child, you're easily manipulated.
right.
It's
And an
not like,
adult or
I
anyone
remember
else
having
should.
crushes on adults when I was a
An
kid,
adult should let you know that that's not
but an
appropriate and draw a
adult, right,
boundary. Right. There's totally a way that, because that is 100% a valid point. There are instances where a child might be, you know, performing or coming onto an adult in a way that is not appropriate. However, that is versus an adult who knows better, a child who is not able to have clear
right,
decision making, understand the full depths of the situation that they're in, etc. An adult knows all of these things and is able to set that boundary, and when you cross that line, it's with full knowledge of, okay, I am taking advantage of this situation because they don't know,
right. They're making an informed choice and the
and the
child is
child is
not.
not 100%.
But also, it does not apply here because Coach Armstrong is not a creep
He's
and he
not.
is not touching Liberty. He was comforting her because she's frustrated. She thinks she's dumb because she can't do
And he's
math.
being
She can't do math
secretive
because
about
she
it.
has
Yes.
because she's
Yes.
embarrassed. I have dyscalculia.
Hmm.
This episode was actually what helped me like figure that
Oh,
out. I had
wow.
never heard of it before. Yeah.
I actually had never heard of it before either. I do not have dyscalculia, but it definitely made me aware that it was a thing. And realized not it kind of made me less embarrassed about another thing that I actually don't have a name for, but I'm pretty sure it's very common, where I flip numbers. So if something reads 554, I might remember it 455 or 545. Like I have.
Honey, I think that is
Is
dyscalculia.
it? It doesn't come up in like
Yeah.
any other, like, I'm bad at math, but that's just because I hate it. And it also doesn't make sense to me a lot of the time.
I have to struggle with it. Like, it's really easy for me to transpose
Yeah.
numbers and what have you.
Yeah.
But I've actually, like, as I've learned to work around it,
Mhm.
and like most of what that is just like quadruple checking everything. I worked in retail banking for like 3
Mhm.
years and had to be
Right.
like really diligent about it. But ever since I found ways to work around it, I've started to really love math. Like, I actually, math is when I go and get a
Mhm.
massage, what I like to do is like give myself long division
Mm.
problems to do in my
Oh
head.
my.
And I focus on that enough that I can like relax.
That's the champ behavior, because long division gives me the itches. I hated long division. I loved geometry. I really tapped out at calculus. I was just like, I'm in danger. I'm gonna go take business math. Like, not
I
like
went to
that
a
was a
cult
whole lot better. But
I went to a cult for high school and then community college, so like algebra's as far as I know,
hmm,
but I can do some math and I enjoy
yeah,
it. Maybe one day I'll come back to studying more math.
absolutely. That's.
But yeah, so Liberty's bad at
Hmm.
math because she has
Hmm.
dyscalculia, and Avis maybe also has
I
dyscalculia, or maybe she just hates math,
I
and
right.
either is
I'm not
fine.
sure, guys. I might go get tested because I have pretty good insurance. I think I can do that.
But yeah, so Emma is concerned and she should have gone right to Liberty.
Hmm.
And if she
Absolutely.
wasn't going to go right to Liberty, she should have talked to Manny someplace private.
Yeah.
But I don't think that Emma's at fault. Terry hears this rumor and runs
Yeah.
with it. And Terry alters it.
She
It's
does.
a love note.
It's
Emma didn't say love
it's
note.
like that whisper down the lane, and it's just a little bit different every time.
And then by the time, but somewhere between Paige telling Hazel, which by the way, first Hazel
I know. I'm
sighting,
excited because she's so cute. I love Hazel.
she's so
Like,
cute.
her function and her introduction is so like good for her character, because like this, she's just Paige's right hand. And the way that Paige looks back at her, like, yeah, you already know I'm giving you like the pre tea, because tea was not a thing yet. But yeah. Hmm.
But by the time Hazel is walking past Sean,
Hmm.
Hazel's talking about they were kissing in the parking lot. Like this rumor snowballs so
And then
fast. Poor
Sean.
baby Sean,
Yeah.
he is so fucked up over this, and it's because like he looks up to Coach Armstrong. That's one of his heroes, and
Yeah,
he's
that
like,
right. He's
and I get
yeah.
it. I get it. He needs that.
I also do respect that Emma, because a lot of other kids would have been told to, like, once Raditch told her to go and leave, she would have, like an authority figure tells you to leave, you're gonna be like, okay, well, damn, maybe I should leave. But like Emma's like,
Yeah.
no, like I have something to say. Like you can't, I'm in the
She
middle
could
of
have
this.
she could have worded that better because
Yeah, then
Raditch's
he
face was
looked
like,
at her,
seriously, another
like he
one.
looked, and then like Armstrong's like, this is really getting deep. Their
Well, and does Armstrong even? Yeah, no,
he and it's all just happening around Armstrong. I mean, a little bitch of a page moment when she's like, "No, Mr. Armstrong." Like I kind of hate that
right.
smarmy
Yeah,
little thing that. But it's like I also am just like, why are all of these middle schoolers so ready to believe and be okay with, not even be okay with in the sense that they're like, they're just reacting to it like, this is scandalous versus this is something we should call 911 about.
right. Spinner's
Like
even
all I
like,
heard was the
hey,
SVU music in my head.
right, and Spinner's like, Armstrong's banging Liberty, and then
Yeah,
like student council people are like at the window being like,
yeah,
loser,
right. Like
like
that's
what the
like, oh,
fuck.
that's her. Look at her. Like what? Like why? Someone needs to call Olivia Benson because like I know that she doesn't deal in Canadian matters, but she is needed here. This my issue is just that it's so I know that they understand the depth of the situation. It, like stranger danger, but it's also like an adult should never touch you. If you know that an adult is touching someone that you go to school with, you should
Right.
tell someone.
Right. I also think it's interesting. I just thought of this, but there's no further like fallout from it because that rumor went all the way around the
It
school.
did. It did.
And yes, we nipped it in the bud. Yes, we understand like what's happened.
Mm-hmm.
But a bunch of 12 to 14-year-olds heard this and it's not
There's
like,
no education. There's no
what's that
talking.
saying about like a rumor travels the world before the truth can put its boots on?
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
there like you would have to have an
Or yeah,
assembly
a lot.
or
I think it's like
something.
the a lie or like the yeah. But yes,
Yeah, a
yes. But
lie.
that's the same
But
same sentiment. And I honestly, I think that that's just. I mean, that's why ultimately Emma's able to write the truth because there was no truth to it, and it was just good that it as soon as Raditch heard it, Emma was able to step in and tell how it actually started.
mhm,
I feel for Liberty in this situation because again, for some reason they're just all teasing her versus like actually asking her, "Are you being molested? Are you okay? Did
right,
Armstrong actually touch you?" None of these things. And Liberty is not a social outcast. I mean, she is not someone that people couldn't go up to and approach and ask those questions. Like even Ashley's like, "Don't you want to talk about it in private?" Blah blah. Like they're
right. It's the whole thing. It's it's
ludicrous.
it's it's a doozy of an
Yeah,
episode.
yeah. I'm trying to think of like
Is there anything else
right other things I want to.
really to touch on here?
I don't think so. Yeah, no, I don't think so. I mean, oh, okay. I will give an honorable mention, which is really not important, just to the IMing that Jimmy and Ashley do, where Jimmy says Liberty Armstrong doing it, and then he, and then instead of replying, Ashley looks up and she's like, "Mouse, is this true? Where did you hear
Right?
this?" Like wackiest
It's
scene ever. Not even ever, but just for right now. Hilarious. I think we're good to segue into my favorite corner, which is the fashion
the fashion
corner.
corner.
Yes. And I mean, honestly, I've got to lead it off the top with a I love. I think it's an iconic outfit for her, honestly, of this era. The purple winged collar top for Ashley
And
and
the
the puka
puka shell
shell necklace,
necklace.
yes, and that she's got her
Yep.
signature hoops on. I love this outfit for her. I think it's very
It
cute.
is it's very peak 2000.
Yeah,
I also loved Terry also
The
had the
stripes,
like red and
yeah,
black striped collar. Those
I
shirts,
love
I
those
remember
shirts.
I had one that was pink and green
Hmm.
that I got from American Eagle. Fucking
I
loved
love
that
me a
shirt.
collar still. People try to take away my collar, like especially a winged collar. There's a look. There's a look to it with the point, and it goes down. It's a little bit more relaxed than a regular collar, but I like Terry's because it's more just a traditional men's collar, like a
Yeah.
polo shirt, but with sleeves. Very cute. Very, like you said, very peak 2000. Very fun girl time. I just loved when girls dressed in Henleys and were very like
Hmm.
boyish, and this is the time. But she's got a little femininity in there. Ashley's has got the purple. It's
Yeah.
very cute. But her and Paige are walking together. I don't her Paige's little pink like shirt and her brown pants are fine, but what I really think is stands out is her hair. I love her beret. I love
Hmm.
the crimped section with the beret holding it back. It's
Yeah.
adorable. I love a beret. I love berets.
It's like one of those like plastic barrettes with like
Yes, the four
flowers, but it's like
flower. Yeah, the four
long.
flower
It's really cute.
pattern.
No, her hair looks
It's
really
very
cute.
it's
She's got
yeah.
a dumb bag as per
The
always.
dumb bag is I love we didn't mention it back in the last episode coming of age, but she also had a dumb little purse when she gives Emma the pad. It's like basically
Oh my god, she's yeah, she's always got these like see-through fucking you got to like open the whole thing. It's got
it's like
hinges. Like
basically a
what are you
lunchbox. Yeah,
doing?
it's like a lunch. I think
Yeah.
that one had like a heart, and it looked kind of like what you put cookies in at Christmas
Mhm.
time with a handle. But yeah, this one is like see through, very cheap rectangle blue plastic. But she's rocking it. She's got that thing close, and I guess it's holding
Yeah.
her little. It's not a side. What is it?
It's like a cell phone with a QWERTY
I was
keyboard,
gonna
but
say.
like in a time where that wasn't really a thing, it's not a T-Mobile
No, it's
Sidekick.
not a sidekick.
It
It
looks
flips
like
up.
something that she bought at
It does.
Claire's.
It doesn't look like it works, does it? It's so tiny.
No, like it looks like it works. It's one of those things that like you buy in a pack of 2
Hmm.
and you and your best friend both
Oh,
have
you
one
mean?
and it will only text your best
Oh, you're
friend.
throwing it back. So you think that, but I that would track, except like Hazel's is actually a phone.
Yeah, okay. I know. I know. I
I would
know.
love it. Like it just doesn't. It looks like a kind of like that, like something that is very low. Like it does not have
yeah.
range on it. It's basically a walkie-talkie with a key, but it's got a keyboard.
Mhm.
Yeah, between two devices. That's how not real it looks. But yes, because that thing is tiny. It could just close up and go in her little blue case, and she's good.
Emma is once again wearing a striped turtleneck.
Yeah, she is.
So as I watched these 2 episodes, I had that song from SpongeBob playing in my head.
Just
The best
wear a
time to
striped
wear a striped
sweater
sweater.
is all the
It's all the
time.
time.
Yeah, yeah.
One with a collar, turtleneck. That's the kind.
Mm-mm-mm.
Some really bad fashion that I only noticed because, so I guess people probably don't know this yet, but our producer, one of our producers, Charlie, the one who's here with us
Mhm.
today, is actually my brother, and we live close by. So we've started watching episodes together, which is really fun. And we paused right at the start of this episode to kind of debrief on the last
Mhm.
episode. And because we paused, I caught this kid at the water fountain. It's not even a notable outfit, but he's wearing like cargo
Yeah.
pants and they look like the kind that you can zip into shorts.
Mhm.
And they also are like they he seems to have a lot of cargo in the ankle pockets.
Oh,
Like his ankles are just like bulging. It's very weird.
actually,
And I noticed it because we happened to pause.
Hazel's jeweled top and fringe belt, iconic. I love the way it looks on
Yes.
her, and I think that it's a great intro outfit. And then later she has on the blue eyeshadow, or blue, not blue eyeshadow, blue eyeliner, and
Hmm.
then the blue top that's like the same shade, which is really resourceful to have found that. And okay, so I will call Manny out and then reward her for her due diligence. But okay, so her odd placement of the mini scrunchies, like the blue mini scrunchies, they went like up the shaft of her ponytail. I just
Yeah.
wasn't feeling it. I think it looks a little weird. But
It's one of those hairstyles that you get from like American Girl magazine, except it's from Canadian Girl magazine, and Lord only knows what they're telling you is
oh
fashionable.
my gosh. But I like her.
She tried
She did.
something.
She's trying to be different because she just wears them plain the next day. She was like, I'm not feeling it. But her purple and blue like ombre jean jacket, I
Yes.
think it's like the first good outfit they gave her.
I loved it. It
Yes,
was so
very
good.
cute.
I don't know. I think she's had good outfits, but it
Not
was like
like
a great it
as
was the
not
first
Bob's
great
Quinn to
outfit.
Emma because I think some of them have been acute, like the outfit when they were mirroring when Emma wore what she wore to the dance, that orange top. She usually tends
Mhm.
to not wear bright colors because Emma wears the brighter colors. So, but
Yeah.
like this was definitely like stand out, even though they tacked her in the back, and very cute,
No,
very
Manny
cute.
looks very
Yeah.
cute. Yes. I think do you have any more fashion?
Just when Emma's tracking down the rumor, and I think I mentioned Hazel's makeup and top, but I like Paige's crisscross top and the little underlay. I
Mhm.
love a layer. I love layering. I still layer. It's important. But it's a very cute, again, like, very simple Paige outfit, but I think I love it. And you already said Terry's shirt. Gosh, it's so cute. I love Terry's shirt.
So cute.
But yeah, I'm good for that's it for the fashion. My favorite corner, fashion corner.
Well, then pew 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 pew. It's time for shots fired. Um, I tried
I
something,
feel it.
much like Manny's hair.
Yeah, gotta try it.
I really like Sheila looks at Spinner and she goes, Gavin, it may take you a few extra years, but I can't
Just
wait for the day you graduate.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's great.
Mine was Liberties. Was that one of yours? Okay,
Yeah.
so we got to
No, but go ahead and go
okay.
ahead.
Go back to saving rainforests and whales because when it comes to saving people, you suck. And you know what?
She's so
She
shitty.
snaps on that ass, and I feel like that is the retribution that fits what she did. That like consequences need to fit the crime. Like she did something wrong to Liberty. No one else was, she made up with like Armstrong's not affected. Nobody really thought that about him. They were even Sean says, "Oh, I thought it sounded fake." So I know that they dropped
Mhm.
stuff like that. So we know that's not that. That's basically the general consensus is that it kept getting more
Right.
outlandish. People thought it was fake. However, she is not going to get off that easily with trying to smooth over everything with Liberty because Liberty was genuinely fucking hurt by that. Like, stop trying to save me. I'm
Yeah.
a person. Like,
And it sucks
mhm.
because didn't really Emma should have gone to Liberty
She and the
first.
whole episode would have been
She
different because
absolutely should have.
she goes to her in a very mature, you know, capacity in two other times and is able to like have
Mm,
a conversation with her that I think like would have been beneficial before she started spreading rumors. Like she was able to actually like have a conversation with her and see what was going on with her versus like just assuming based on her perspective.
mhm.
And it would have been, well, there would have been no episode obviously if she just went to Liberty. But I think it's
Right.
funny how they show her having very meaningful conversations with Liberty throughout the episode that she was not able to have initially. It's a little weird.
Mhm.
It's a little strange, but okay.
But anyway, we got some great shots
Those
fired
were,
from Sheila and Liberty.
yeah, coming at you. So I mean, I'm gonna take the Hun count. I feel like we all know that Paige is no, she gets more notorious as the seasons go on for Hun, but in this episode there's just one, and she lets I think it's Hazel. Who does she let know that she
Terry.
Terry? Oh, Hun, you can't report a rumor, which is once again very true. Paige the Sage, but I think that you can report a rumor. I'm gonna disappear. I'm gonna disappear. I'm gonna disagree with Paige because, as a former mandated reporter, if I had any hint of bullshit, I'm supposed to fucking blow the whistle. And for me, a hint is a sniff. If I,
Mhm.
but
But
there was no sniffs. So in this situation, what ended up happening was what should have happened. But
right.
I think that they all should have used like could have used a class just for education, safety. Who am I?
We have also a black hole, kind
I
of.
know it's
We've already talked about it. JT's still got a mom. He brings her up again and says, like, he told a joke that made her shoot milk out of her
yeah.
nose. So I guess part of black holes for a while is going to be tracking when JT stops having
Yes, I want to know when
parents.
JC stops having parents.
Because I don't think they mention it. But so that brings us into Shining Stars and Super
Hmm.
Bummers, which, let's see, for coming of
Oh
age,
yeah, man.
I had a couple of Shining Stars.
Yeah.
Emma, I think, really shines in this episode. And also, I'm gonna, like, even though I feel like this is a more, like, feminist woo episode, I'm gonna give it to my man, Sean Cameron, who is a second time seventh grader
It sure
who
is.
is not only not grossed out by menstruation, which happens to 50% of the
Hmm.
population, he's like impressed by this girl talking about it. Like, Sean Cameron shines in this episode.
Right. I definitely I will agree with that. I was focused on my triad of feminist icons, so I will acknowledge that I think that he's very sweet in this episode.
Well, tell me about your triad.
Well, of course, it's got to be Spike. I just think that she kicks ass in the mall, and I think it's important to set. These are the things that we are able to see that she does for Emma. So I'm going to give her cookies for them because she's not a character that writes herself. She can't control the fuzzy wuzzy moments she has. Love to see a period discussion with them. Didn't get it, but I'm going to give her points because she actually did defend her daughter against cat callers, and that's important. And skeevy men who just think they can say whatever the fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Feminist icon, stand up for your right in a safe way. Don't get popped out here. Paige, of course, just for being, very reassuring in a time where Emma was clearly about to have an anxiety attack. And I think Manny for being, as always, not only a real one, but also just standing beside her friend and, in the nick of
Yeah.
time. Like who could ask for a better friend when when you got your period, when you wore a white skirt and you need to give a
Yeah.
presentation to a room full of 12-year-olds. Feminist triad. Woo.
I am okay with putting Paige in the Shining Stars, but I think she at least deserves an honorable mention in the Super Bummers.
She can get it for the
Because at the
last.
end,
Yes, you know what?
when
If she was
Emma's
almost
gotten her
out,
petition,
she was almost out of the episode scot free, but then she had to go ahead and page. So you know what? I love a caveat. I'll just well an asterisk. I'll put an asterisk up there for her and just say that I feel like despite her little last minute, trying to be an ass towards Emma
mm-hmm,
and that is what makes Sean Cameron a shining star. Paige being kind of a super bummer. And I'll take that
mm-hmm.
because I think that she did redeem herself in a way, but she's always got to remind us that she's still season 1 Paige right now.
But I think the superest of bummers are Ashley and
They
Jimmy.
suck.
And again, I completely understand where both of them are coming from,
Hmm.
and like I feel for them, and it's not unreasonable that they're teenagers who don't know how to communicate this shit,
Right.
and also it's exhausting to watch.
It is their
They are a super
relationship.
bummer to watch.
Yeah, I will agree with that. I will agree with that.
And a little bit Toby too.
I don't think I have another super bummer to add to that. I feel like it was more of an episode. Oh, okay, no. I'll give JT the super bummer also because he
For being a dick to Emma.
yeah, because it's like, even if she had pissed herself, she's still friends with you and you pissed the bed every
Yeah, no, JT's a dick. I
he's,
don't think he's like the superest
he's
bummer, but
not the
he's at least an
superest
honorable
bum. Yeah,
mention.
he can be on the roster because he's just doing too much.
What about rumors and reputations?
Okay, so I have to give, and I mean, this one was harder. I know that I think we already foiled it a little bit to say that like Emma is an honorable mention because she does right her wrongs.
I don't think that doing the most basic right
Is
thing.
it's like an honorable mention because I don't know how many people would have because Emma, for all of her faults, she has a pretty strict moral code.
Nobody really shines in this
That is
episode.
why, Caroline, I'm like, I'm, it's literally Coach Armstrong is the actual shining star, because I feel like he genuinely went out of his way to keep concealment of a student's genuine
Right.
insecurity. And he did like she did not want the student body to know that she was
Right.
struggling with something academically. So he kept it under wraps for her. And he did not, he's not that sort of person. He was not preying on her. So he was completely oblivious to what was going on around him. And he handled himself professionally, and he would have continued to do so had Emma not stepped in. However, Emma has to step in. Otherwise, it's just his word against what is swirling around in the school.
Right.
So I mean, like we said, Emma, I am not an Emma stan, but I cannot fault for the fact that I was impressed with a 12-year-old for being able to be that 180 about righting a wrong. Because there could have been the way that Terry read her for filth, also saying like, no, you started the rumor, Emma. Like, I'll admit to what I did, but no, I heard it from you. Like, that
Mhm.
embarrassment could have literally made her shut down and not like tell Liberty, but
Right.
she came
No, I'll
forward, and despite her own pride, which we know she has a lot of, and
mhm.
admitted that she was wrong and took the two L's. Because I mean, I want to know what fallout she got from Radish. There should have been something, but definitely the L with Liberty.
I don't think there should have been fallout with Radich. Maybe a stern talking to about like how to deal with something like that going forward.
She's
But
still a good enough kid that might have been enough to make her feel like she got put in her place. Like, she's not a bad
right.
kid.
But like I don't Emma didn't do anything wrong. She just didn't handle the situation
Correctly, right.
correctly.
So, I mean, that's why she was a little honorable mention. Coach
Yeah.
Armstrong is my shining star.
Yeah, I guess Coach Armstrong is my shining star too. My super bummers are Terry and Spinner.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I think Terry, like, I maintain Terry is the one who started the rumor. Emma had a private conversation with a friend about a concern she had.
Mm-hmm. And then she turned it into like,
She didn't have a conversation with
yeah.
Terry. Terry overheard
Mm-hmm.
it, and then Terry spread it. Like,
Right.
that's,
I will agree that, like, the definition of rumor was not what Emma did. It's what Terry did.
yeah,
And I just think that, I mean, but like the point of it is still intact, that you should never spread information that you don't necessarily know to be true about something. But and her
yeah.
spreading it was seeing something she couldn't verify, and then talking to a friend about it in an area where other people overheard. But yes, Terry, without Terry, that thing did not have legs. Let's be honest. No one
No.
else was there to hear it. It was Terry or the highway. Like, it would have fallen, no one else was around to have heard that.
And Spinner just
Spinner was just spinnering this whole episode.
making the wrong choices all over the place because, yeah, he was spinning.
I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna. He was wrong. He was 100% wrong to collect earwigs to prove,
Right?
like, that's like, and the execution was poor. If you're gonna do it right. Execution sucked, but yeah, I think those are two pretty fair super bummers. I'm trying to think
Mm-hmm.
of. I mean, honestly, the whole main cast pretty much had a hand in the bullshit. So they're all bumming me out in some way in this episode. Everybody pretty much lends a hand to me being bummed the hell out, except for Coach Armstrong, little little
Yep.
sad bean that he is in the corner, and Liberty. Liberty doesn't really bum me out. It's just like I feel bad for her.
Liberty bums me out when she runs all
She
awkwardly down the
Okay,
hallway.
that can be a shots fired, because I'm glad you said it, Caroline. I didn't want to say it, but
Right? You don't want to make fun of her for that, but it's so awkward and just like,
my girlfriend said that. She was like, "But why is she running away like a weirdo? Everybody's gonna think something." I was just like, but I was like, babe, we don't talk about that. We're not gonna make fun of her for that. But she's
right?
like, but genuinely, like, it seems like something happened, and the way that she's running is very, very concerning. Like, she's very odd. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So I guess there's one more question to
Yeah, of
ask.
course. Did it go there?
Did it go there?
Does it go there?
For coming of age,
I think it's a solid
it's a
episode. I
solid
don't
episode.
think it goes
I think
there.
I would agree with that. Thanks for that wording, because it's just like, it has some very like it's a very iconic episode, and there are a lot of
Mhm.
strong images that are associated with it, but I don't necessarily think that it goes there in the sense in the way that the show means to go there. But I enjoyed myself, and it was important to the storyline, you know.
And it's important to like, I think it's a good episode for young boys and young
Yeah,
girls to watch.
it helps with, yeah, because like a lot of people don't even talk about periods, so it's actually discussing periods in a
Honestly,
productive
I
way.
wish we went a little deeper into Jimmy's fucking neglect, but
Ha. Well, listen, I feel like Jimmy's, I tried to talk about it just in the attachment style and everything, but Jimmy continues to be neglected. Spoiler alert, please don't be upset, but his dad comes onto the show and it just doesn't give you the warm and fuzzies. So if you're looking for a healthy familial arc for Jimmy, you have come to the wrong show.
no, much like Jimmy, you should go have dinner at the Kerwin Isaacs household.
That would be a good idea. If that's what you want to see, go to Jimmy's household is not for you. The Brooks household, move on.
I kind of feel similarly about Rumors and Reputations.
Mhm.
It's a solid episode. It doesn't go there. Like the stakes are definitely higher, but there's no
They are. I
fallout
that Yeah,
for, other than Liberty telling her off. Like Emma started a really dangerous rumor.
absolutely. A very dangerous rumor, and I think especially with kids this young, like once they get older, it's not less of a career destroyer, but it's like kids this young typically don't are undereducated about sex and typically don't make things like this up as readily as kids that are have more knowledge. They understand and they might have a different dynamic with the situation, so it's extremely dangerous, the rumor she spread. But I don't think again that it went there in the sense of what the show was trying to convey.
It's
It's
not
hard
like
hitting though.
Degrassi, it goes
No, we're
there.
not yellow knifing
Yeah.
it. We're definitely though tackling some
I
issues
mean,
that are important.
nothing. Honestly, if we're being honest, like even the first episode, like yes, it goes there more than anything else has this season,
Yes.
but like nothing happens to Emma
No.
compared to like what Degrassi is going to become. Season 1 does not go
Oh
there.
yeah, I feel like if in the off chance that you have never seen an episode of Degrassi and are watching it with us, we're honored. That would be awesome if this is fresh to you. But it it
Buckle
it
in.
really does escalate. Like the problems that they go through grow with the age. Like if you think that they're just 15, what could they talk about? Everything. It just gets
Everything.
it's compounding. Don't worry, we're gonna walk you through it, but it's a lot. It continues to stack up. So yeah. So thank you for joining us on your mom's podcast. Next week we'll be watching Sean and Emma's disaster of a first date in Friday Night, followed by Emma being a horrible friend in Wannabe, and then we'll round it out with a cute but cringy interpretive dance number in Cabaret. And there's a heavy emphasis on cringy.
This episode of Your Mom's Padcast was made possible in part by MiniPads, Dyscalculia, and support from listeners like you. If you'd like to further support our show, you can follow our Facebook page and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at YMPadcast and on TikTok at Your Mom's Padcast. You can also visit our website at www.padcast.com. Your Mom's Padcast is available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. If you feel so inclined, subscriptions and reviews are another great way to support the show. If you'd like to support us financially, you can subscribe to our Patreon at www.patreon.com/yourmomspadcast. And remember, that's Padcast. PAHDCAST. Thank you.